You're being dramatic, my sister laughed when I said I felt betrayed. After she hired my cheating ex-wife, who tried to make me go bankrupt with false IRS accusations at her company. Fine. I'm dramatic about the $83,000 startup loan I gave her too. She paid me back or filed bankruptcy. She filed. Hey Reddit. Throw away because people involved know my main account. I need to get this off my chest because what just went down with my sister has me questioning everything I thought I knew about family loyalty. I'm 36 male, a CPA. Been doing taxes and financial consulting for about 12 years now. Started at a big firm, worked my way up, then went independent 5 years ago. The money's good. Not rolling in it good, but comfortable. I own my house, drive a decent car, and have a solid client base. The kind of life where you're not worried about making rent, but you're also not buying yachts. My sister Emma, 33 female, and I used to be close. Growing up, we had each other's backs. Our parents split when I was 10, and she was 7, so we learned early to rely on each other. Dad moved across the country. Mom worked 2 jobs. We were those latchkey kids who made dinner together and did homework at the kitchen table while Mom pulled double shifts. When I started making real money, I helped Emma out. Paid for her last 2 years of college when Mom couldn't anymore. Helped her with rent a few times when she was getting her footing after graduation. Loaned her money for a car. That's what family does, right? You help each other out. The big one came 3 years ago. Emma had this business idea. A boutique marketing agency focused on small businesses. She'd been working at a corporate firm and hated it. Wanted to build something of her own. She had the skills, the contacts, the drive. What she didn't have was capital. She needed $120,000 to get started. Office space, equipment, initial operating costs, enough runway to survive the first year while building a client base. Banks wanted collateral she didn't have. Investors wanted too much equity. So she came to me. I had about $90,000 liquid at the time. Money I'd been saving for a down payment on a bigger house or maybe a vacation property. She only asked for $83,000. Said she could scrape together the rest from savings and a small business credit line. We sat at my kitchen table, and she had this whole pitch prepared. Business plan, projections, competitive analysis. She'd done her homework. But what really got me was when she teared up and said, "You've always believed in me. This is my shot to build something real. I won't let you down." I gave her the money. We drew up a simple loan agreement. $83,000 at 3% interest. Repayment to start after the first year once she was profitable. Then $2,000 monthly until paid off. Standard family loan stuff. She hugged me so hard I thought my ribs would crack. The business took off. Within 8 months, she had a solid client roster. By year 2, she'd hired 3 employees. By year 3, she was doing well enough to lease a nicer office and was talking about expanding. I was proud of her. My little sister, building an empire. Now, let me rewind to the other part of this disaster. My ex-wife, Melissa. I met Melissa, 34 female, 7 years ago at a networking event. She worked in pharmaceutical sales, made decent money, had that polished professional look. We clicked immediately. She was funny, ambitious, seemed to have her life together. We dated for a year, got engaged, married a year after that. The first 3 years were good. We bought a house together, talked about kids, went on nice vacations. She made more money than me at first, which never bothered me. We split everything fairly, built what I thought was a solid partnership. Then she got promoted to a regional position. Suddenly, she was traveling 3 weeks out of every month. Our time together went from every evening to maybe 1 weekend a month. I tried to be supportive. This was her career, her opportunity. But the distance grew in more ways than just physical. The signs were there if I'd been paying attention. She started putting passwords on her phone when she'd never cared before. Took calls in the other room. Came home from client dinners smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. When I'd ask about her trips, her answers got vague. I found out the truth in the dumbest way possible. She'd left her laptop open on the kitchen counter. I wasn't snooping, just walked by and saw an email preview. Can't wait to see you in Denver this weekend. Room 2147, from someone named Marcus. I clicked on it. Months of emails, hotel reservations, text screenshots, photos. She'd been having an affair with her direct supervisor for almost a year. The guy was married with 2 kids. Confronting her was like watching someone transform in real time. The woman I thought I knew, the one who cried at movies and saved injured birds, turned cold as ice. No remorse, no tears, just calculated deflection. "You're never here emotionally anyway," she said, arms crossed. "Marcus actually sees me, actually appreciates what I do. You've been checked out for months. The gaslighting was masterful. Suddenly, every problem in our marriage was my fault. I worked too much. I didn't support her career. I was emotionally unavailable. Never mind that I was the one home every night while she was screwing her boss in hotel rooms across 3 states. I filed for divorce the next day, hired a good lawyer, documented everything. In our state, infidelity matters for asset division, and I had receipts, literally. Credit card statements showing hotel charges, emails, all of it. That's when Melissa went nuclear. See, I'd done our taxes every year we were married. She'd signed the returns, of course, but never really looked at them closely. Trusted me because, I'm a CPA and her husband. I was meticulous, kept every receipt, documented everything, filed extensions when needed to get it right. But Melissa got herself a vicious divorce attorney. This woman had a reputation for scorched earth tactics, and they decided that since I handled our taxes, there must be something wrong with them. Had to be. So they filed a complaint with the IRS. The allegations were insane, that I deliberately underreported Melissa's income to avoid higher tax brackets, that I'd claimed fraudulent deductions, that I'd hidden assets in offshore accounts, that I'd manipulated our returns to benefit myself at her expense. All completely false. Every single accusation was bullshit. But here's the thing about the IRS. Even when you're innocent, defending yourself is expensive and time-consuming. I got audited, 3 years of returns, every document scrutinized. I had to hire a tax attorney because the IRS doesn't mess around. Between legal fees, accounting fees, and lost billable hours dealing with the mess, it cost me close to $40,000. $40,000 to prove I'd done nothing wrong. The worst part? My professional reputation took a hit. Word spreads in the CPA community. Even though the IRS found 0 irregularities and closed the investigation with no penalties, some people still whispered. Lost a few clients who didn't want to deal with controversial accountants. The divorce got ugly. Really ugly. Melissa tried to claim I'd hidden money. Tried to get alimony despite making more than me. Tried to keep the house despite her affair being documented. Her lawyer sent threatening letters weekly. In the end, I got a relatively fair settlement. Kept my retirement accounts. Got the house after refinancing to buy out her half. Split the joint savings. But between legal fees, the IRS defense, and the buyout, I was basically financially back to 0 after 5 years of marriage. The emotional toll was worse. I stopped trusting people, stopped dating, threw myself into work. My friends, especially my buddy Jason, tried to get me back out there, but I wasn't ready. How do you trust anyone after someone you loved tries to destroy you? Throughout all of this, Emma was supportive, called me weekly during the worst of it, let me vent, told me Melissa was insane and I was better off, even offered to testify in the divorce proceedings if I needed her to. She was my rock when everything else was crumbling, which is why what happened next cut so deep. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago. I stopped by Emma's office to drop off some documents she needed signed, tax stuff for her business. The office was nice, bigger than I remembered from my last visit 6 months prior. She'd expanded, had 6 employees now instead of 3. I walked past the open work area on my way to Emma's office, and there she was. Sitting at a desk near the window, Melissa, my ex-wife, the woman who'd tried to bankrupt me with false IRS accusations, laughing with another employee like she belonged there. I stopped dead. Our eyes met. She gave me this little smirk, like she'd won something. I walked straight to Emma's office, closed the door. Why is Melissa working here? Emma looked up from her computer, confused. Oh, you saw her? Yeah, I hired her about 2 months ago. She's actually really good at client relations. 2 months? I interrupted. You hired my ex-wife 2 months ago and didn't tell me? Emma shrugged, like it was no big deal. I didn't think it was that important. She needed a job. I needed someone with her experience. It's just business, Mike. Just business. My sister, who I'd given $83,000 to start her company, hired the woman who'd tried to financially ruin me, and thought it wasn't important enough to mention. Do you understand what she did to me? I asked, trying to keep my voice level. The IRS investigation? The 40 grand in legal fees? The clients I lost? Emma waved a hand dismissively. That was between you two. This is my business. I can hire whoever I want. She tried to make me look like a criminal to the IRS, Emma. She filed false accusations knowing they were false. That's fraud. Oh, come on, Emma said, actually laughing. You're being so dramatic. It was just divorce stuff. People say things when they're hurt. And the IRS didn't find anything wrong, so what's the problem? Dramatic. I was being dramatic about someone committing fraud against me to try to destroy my career and finances. The problem, I said slowly, is that you hired someone who attacked your brother. Someone who lied to federal investigators. And you didn't even think to tell me. Emma stood up, crossing her arms. Look, I get that you're still bitter about the divorce, but I can't avoid hiring qualified people just because you had a bad breakup. Melissa's great at her job. My clients love her. This is my business, Mike. Stay out of it. A bad breakup. That's what she called it. Like Melissa hadn't committed adultery, then weaponized the federal government against me. Does she know I gave you the money to start this company? I asked. Emma hesitated. It may have come up. So she knows. And you hired her anyway, knowing what she did to me. You're making this into something it's not, Emma said, her voice getting irritated. We're adults. This is business. Keep your personal drama out of my office. I left without another word, drove home in a daze, called Jason. She hired her? Jason said, disbelief clear in his voice. Your sister hired Melissa after everything that went down? And called me dramatic for being upset about it. Dude, that's messed up. Like, really messed up. Family doesn't do that. That night, I couldn't sleep. Kept replaying the conversation. Emma's dismissive attitude. Her laughter when I said I felt betrayed. The way she'd waved off what Melissa had done, like it was nothing. The next morning, I pulled out the loan agreement. Hadn't looked at it in months. Emma had been making her $2,000 payments on time every month like clockwork. She still owed $67,000. The agreement had a clause, pretty standard in family loans, that I could call the loan due immediately if I felt the relationship had fundamentally changed. It was there to protect both of us. If Emma got married and her spouse wanted her to cut ties with family, she could pay me off and walk away clean. If I needed the money for an emergency, I could call it in. If the relationship fundamentally changed, I'd say hiring the woman who tried to bankrupt me qualified. I called my lawyer, explained the situation. She reviewed the loan agreement and said I was well within my rights to demand immediate payment. Suggested I send a formal demand letter giving Emma 30 days to pay the full balance. You sure you want to do this? She asked. This is going to blow up your family. She already blew it up when she hired Melissa. The demand letter went out certified mail the next day. It was professional, clear, and gave her 3 options. Pay the full $67,000 within 30 days, work out a payment plan with a much higher monthly amount, or face legal action. Emma called me 2 days later, screaming, "Are you insane? I can't come up with $67,000 in 30 days. Then we'll work out a payment plan, $10,000 a month for 7 months. I can't afford that either. That'll kill my cash flow." Figure it out, I said calmly. You're doing well enough to expand your office and hire my ex-wife. You can afford to pay your debts. This is about Melissa, isn't it? She spat. You're punishing me for hiring her. I'm enforcing a loan agreement you signed. The relationship has fundamentally changed. You made that choice when you hired someone who committed fraud against me and then laughed when I said I felt betrayed. I called you dramatic. Not that I betrayed you. Jesus, Mike, you're proving my point right now. You hired my ex-wife who tried to destroy my career and didn't even tell me. If that's not betrayal, I don't know what is. She's good at her job. This is my business. I can't fire someone just because you're having feelings about your divorce. Then you can pay back the loan that helped you start that business. You're being vindictive. This is blackmail. No, I said, voice hard. This is me protecting myself from someone who's proven they don't have my back. You have 30 days. She hung up on me. Over the next week, I got calls from family. Mom called, crying, asking why I was doing this to my sister. Didn't I know she'd helped me through my divorce? Emma's boyfriend called, saying I was being unreasonable and petty. Even a few cousins reached out, telling me I was overreacting. Emma had spun it as me being jealous and vindictive. Poor Emma, just trying to run her business, and her crazy brother is demanding money back, just because he can't handle seeing his ex-wife. What she left out? The fraud, the false IRS accusations, the $40,000 in legal fees, the clients I lost, the professional reputation damage. All of that was just divorce drama in her version. I sent a group email to the family with the facts, the timeline of what Melissa had done, the IRS investigation results showing the accusations were false, the cost to defend myself, the loan agreement and its terms. Emma's exact words. You're being dramatic when I said hiring Melissa felt like betrayal. Some family members apologized. Others went quiet. A few still sided with Emma, saying I should be the bigger person. Family is more important than money. Can't I just forgive and move on? Forgive what, exactly? Melissa for trying to ruin me? Or Emma for hiring her and then mocking me for being upset about it? Jason came over 2 weeks into the 30-day window. How you holding up? Fine, I said, though I wasn't. The family pressure was getting to me. Standing my ground. Good. You're not wrong here, man. What Emma did was beyond messed up. Half the family thinks I'm the asshole. Half the family doesn't know the full story. And even if they did, some people will always side with whoever's crying loudest. He paused. You really gonna go through with this if she doesn't pay? Yeah, I said. I am. With 5 days left in the deadline, Emma showed up at my house. Her boyfriend Brad was with her. I let them in, offered coffee out of politeness. They refused. I can't pay you, Emma said flatly. There's no way. My cash reserves aren't that high, and a bank won't give me a loan that big without using the business as collateral, which I can't risk. Then we work out a payment plan, I said. I told you I can't afford $10,000 a month. That's half my monthly profit after expenses and payroll. Then $8,000 or $6,000. We'll figure something out. Why are you doing this? She asked, and for the first time, she sounded less angry and more confused. Is it really just about Melissa? It's about you hiring someone who tried to destroy me and then dismissing my feelings about it. It's about you calling me dramatic for being upset that my sister, the person I trusted most after my divorce, would employ someone who committed fraud against me. Brad spoke up. Look, man, I get you're upset, but this is affecting Emma's whole business. She might have to lay people off if you force this payment plan. She should have thought about that before hiring Melissa. You're going to tank her company over a hiring decision? I'm enforcing a loan agreement. If her company can't survive paying back a loan she signed, maybe it wasn't as stable as she thought. Emma's face went red. You smug asshole. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I'm not enjoying any of this. I'm hurt. I'm angry. And I'm done being treated like my feelings don't matter. Your feelings don't give you the right to destroy what I've built. I didn't destroy anything, Emma. You did. When you hired Melissa. When you laughed at me. When you chose your business over your brother. They left angry. Emma slammed my door hard enough that a picture fell off the wall. 3 days before the deadline, I got a call from her lawyer. They wanted to negotiate. I referred them to my lawyer. The lawyers talked, went back and forth. Emma's lawyer proposed a payment plan. $5,000 a month for 14 months, with interest adjusted to 5%. My lawyer called me. It's a reasonable offer. You'll get your money back plus interest. What do you think? What's her financial situation really look like? I asked. According to the documents they provided, she's telling the truth. She can afford $5,000 a month, but just barely. Anything higher, and she'd have to make cuts. I thought about it. Emma had been making her original $2,000 payments consistently. She'd never missed one. This wasn't about her being irresponsible with money. This was about her betraying me, and then expecting no consequences. Counter-offer, I said. $6,000 a month for 12 months. Non-negotiable. And Melissa has to go. My lawyer paused. Mike, I don't know if you can legally require her to fire an employee as part of a loan repayment. I'm not requiring it. I'm saying that's my condition for accepting the payment plan. If she can't agree to both terms, then we go to court and I get a judgment for the full amount immediately. She'll probably refuse. Then I'll see her in court. The response came back the next day. Emma rejected both conditions. Said she wouldn't fire Melissa on principle. It would be discrimination or wrongful termination or some legal excuse. Said she could afford $4,000 a month maximum, and anything higher would force her to lay off staff. We were at an impasse. With the deadline 24 hours away, Emma had 3 options. Pay the full amount, accept my terms, or default on the loan. She chose option 4, file for bankruptcy. I got the notice from her lawyer the morning of the deadline. Emma had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. It would freeze my ability to collect on the loan until the bankruptcy court sorted through her debts and assets. I called my lawyer immediately. She filed bankruptcy? Can she do that? Unfortunately, yes. Chapter 11 protects businesses from creditors while they reorganize. Your loan will be listed as a debt, and you'll have to wait for the bankruptcy process to see what, if anything, you can recover. How long does that take? Could be months. Could be over a year. And there's no guarantee you'll get the full amount back. The court might only approve partial payment. I hung up and just stared at my phone. Emma had chosen to destroy her company's credit and go through bankruptcy rather than either pay me back or fire Melissa. Jason came over that night with whiskey. I heard. You okay? She chose Melissa over me, I said. She literally chose my ex-wife over her own brother. Chose bankruptcy over making this right. Some people can't admit when they're wrong. They'll burn everything down before they apologize. I just don't get it. Why? Why hire her in the first place? She had to know it would hurt me. Jason poured us both drinks. You want my honest take? Yeah. I think Emma knew exactly what she was doing. Melissa probably came cheap. She needed a job after her reputation took a hit. Emma saw a good employee at a discount and took it. When you got upset, she couldn't back down without admitting she'd been wrong. So she doubled down, made you the bad guy. And now she's so committed to that story that she'd rather go bankrupt than admit she screwed up. That made a horrible kind of sense. Emma had always been stubborn. Once she took a position, getting her to change her mind was like moving a mountain. But this seemed extreme even for her. The bankruptcy process was exactly as painful as my lawyer predicted. I had to file claims with the court, attend hearings. Emma's lawyer painted me as a vindictive ex who was using debt collection to punish his sister for a personal grudge. My lawyer presented the loan agreement, the payment history, and the valid reasons for demanding repayment. The bankruptcy trustee was thorough. They examined Emma's business finances, her assets, her debts. The good news, her business wasn't actually failing. She had steady clients, consistent revenue. The bankruptcy was strategic, filed purely to avoid paying me back immediately. The bad news, that meant the court might force a payment plan anyway, but one that benefited Emma, not me. Instead of my $6,000 monthly demand, the court might approve $2,000 or $3,000 over a longer period. During one hearing, Emma and I were in the same room for the first time since the deadline. She wouldn't look at me. Sat on the opposite side with her lawyer and Brad, whispering. My mom showed up to support Emma. That stung. When Mom saw me, she looked torn, like she wanted to talk but didn't know what to say. The trustee asked questions about our relationship, the loan's history, what changed. I explained about Melissa, the IRS investigation, the fraud accusations, the $40,000 in legal fees, Emma's dismissal of my concerns. Emma's lawyer tried to object, saying it wasn't relevant to the loan. The trustee shut him down. The loan agreement specifically allows for immediate repayment if the relationship fundamentally changes. The nature of that change is absolutely relevant. When Emma had to testify, she admitted hiring Melissa, admitted knowing about our divorce and my allegations of fraud, admitted not telling me about the hire for 2 months, admitted calling me dramatic. Did you consider, the trustee asked, that hiring your brother's ex-wife might damage your relationship with him? I thought he'd get over it, Emma said. It's business. Personal feelings shouldn't interfere. But your brother had personal feelings that were quite strong. Based on what we've heard, did you think about how he might react? Emma hesitated. I thought he was being overly sensitive about the divorce. Melissa's side of things made sense to me. That's when I understood. Melissa had gotten to Emma, had told her version of events, probably painted herself as the victim of a controlling husband, with the IRS thing being legitimate concerns about financial mismanagement. And Emma had believed her over me. My lawyer caught it too. During our next break, she said, Your sister genuinely believes Melissa's version. That's why she thinks you're overreacting. Melissa spent 2 months telling her a completely different story about your marriage and the divorce. The bankruptcy process dragged on for 6 months. During that time, I learned more about Emma's business than I'd ever wanted to know. Learned that Melissa wasn't just an employee. She'd become Emma's right-hand person. They had lunch together daily, went to happy hours. Melissa had wormed her way into becoming Emma's close friend. It made sense now. Emma wasn't just defending an employee. She was defending her friend. She'd chosen Melissa over me because Melissa was there, present, bonding with her while I'd been distant and focused on rebuilding after the divorce. The betrayal felt fresh all over again. The court's ruling came down 8 months after Emma filed. The judge wasn't pleased with either of us, said we were both stubborn and should have worked this out as family. But legally, I was in the right. The judgment, Emma owed me the full $67,000 plus interest accrued during the bankruptcy period. She had to pay $4,500 monthly for 18 months. The bankruptcy would remain on her business credit for years. And if she missed even one payment, I could immediately pursue legal collection. It was less than I'd demanded, but more than she'd wanted to pay. Nobody won. We both just lost differently. Emma didn't show up to the final hearing, sent her lawyer instead. I sat there in the courtroom, surrounded by strangers, and realized my relationship with my sister was probably over. All because she'd hired my ex-wife and then laughed when I said it hurt. The first payment came on time. $4,500 deposited into my account. No message, no acknowledgement, just the money. I ran into Mom at the grocery store a week later. She looked older, tired. Mike, she said quietly, this has to stop. The court decided, Mom. It's done. I don't mean the money. I mean this war between you and Emma, your family. She made her choice when she hired Melissa. When she dismissed what that woman did to me. When she chose bankruptcy over admitting she was wrong. She's your sister. You gave her that money to help her build something. Now you're tearing it down. No, Mom. I gave her that money because I trusted her. Because I thought family meant something. She's the one who broke that trust. Mom's eyes filled with tears. I'm losing both my children over this. You're not losing me. But I'm not going to keep sacrificing myself for people who don't care about the sacrifices I make. She left without buying anything. I stood there in the produce section, holding a bag of apples, wondering when everything got so broken. Jason says I did the right thing, that standing up for myself was important, that Emma needed to face consequences for her actions. Most days, I believe him, but some nights I lie awake thinking about the sister I used to have, the one who sat with me at the kitchen table doing homework while Mom worked, the one who believed in me, the one I thought would always have my back. That sister is gone. Maybe she never really existed. Maybe I just wanted to believe we were closer than we were. The payments keep coming. $4,500 every month, like clockwork. Each one feels like a reminder of everything we lost. Some people might think I won because I'm getting my money back. But when you have to take your sister to bankruptcy court to get repaid, nobody wins. Emma still works with Melissa. I know, because I checked her company website. Melissa's listed as Director of Client Relations now. Got a promotion while all this was going down. Emma's business is smaller than it was. She did have to lay off 2 people to afford the monthly payments to me. But she's still operating, still running her company. I'm doing fine financially. The payments are rebuilding my savings. My CPA practice is solid. Life goes on. But I catch myself sometimes, wanting to call Emma about something random. Then I remember that Emma doesn't exist anymore. There's just this stranger who looks like my sister but chose my enemy over me. Last week, I got a card in the mail. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting. Inside was a simple message. You were right to be upset. I'm sorry I laughed, but I can't admit that publicly without losing everything. I hope someday you'll understand. I threw it away, then pulled it out of the trash an hour later. Sat there staring at it, trying to figure out what it meant. Was it a real apology? Or just another manipulation? I don't know, and I'm too tired to figure it out. What I do know is this. Sometimes the people you trust most will hurt you worst. Sometimes family will choose strangers over blood. Sometimes standing up for yourself means losing people you love. And sometimes being right doesn't feel like winning at all. The bankruptcy will fall off Emma's business credit eventually. The payments will end in 10 more months. The legal part of this mess will be done. But the family part, the sister part, that might be broken forever. And I'm still trying to figure out if I'm okay with that. So yeah, Reddit. That's my story. My sister hired my ex-wife, laughed when I said I felt betrayed, and chose bankruptcy over making it right. I got my money back, but I lost my sister. They say family is everything, but what happens when family treats you like nothing? I still don't have a good answer to that. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.